Mike Vick, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Mike Vick, you know him. 13 years, 4 Pro Bowls, most rushing yards by a quarterback in NFL history. So, you know Andy Reid, and we had said it during the year. We're like, listen, they'll figure it out. Smart people figure stuff out. So it's taken about 6 weeks, Mike, and I watched them yesterday, and I'm like, they got COVID stuff they're dealing with, and so how did they figure it out? What do you think they did to figure out the offense with Patrick Mahomes?
Well, I know Andy Reid has an extensive playbook, and he can go back to 2010, 2011 to the things that we was doing that can be very effective versus any defense still to this day, 10 years later. He actually sent me a play last year and asked me what was the name of the play, what was the protection, and what did I think about the play? As I broke it down and looked at it, it was a play that we actually ran, and the play was called Ram, and he was installing it in the offseason. So I know Andy, he can go into his bag of tricks. He can find plays. He can pull things out that no other offensive coach can do across the National Football League because he's got plays that extend back to, the early 2000s with Donovan McNabb and guys like that.
A team, I had my reservations about the Eagles and Nick Sirianni. But, Michael, you don't have to be great at everything in this league. But you have to have an identity. And I watched Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts. And I said this about 6 weeks ago. I said, he's not the prettiest thrower, but every time I look up, they're scoring in the 30s. So all I know is it's like the NBA. You got to put the ball in the basket. If you get to 30, you win almost every weekend. What do you make of Philadelphia's offense, their limitations, their talent, and what do you see with Jalen Hurts?
I got to give a lot of credit to Nick Sirianni. He's a young coach in this league, and we got to be real with ourselves about that. And it takes some time to learn, like players, even coaches, learn how to win, get into a flow of the game, and build personnel to go out and execute your offense and come out of the games with a win at the end of the day. And he's just been plugging away. He's been plugging away. I think they drafted the right guys. I think they got a lot of superstars on offense, and Rager and Smith, and now Jalen Hurts is starting to get comfortable and coming into his own after gaining a ton of experience this year, ups and downs, highs and lows, and even getting a chance to go out and watch Gardner Minshew go play a phenomenal game against the Jets. It's all learning experiences, and when you got a young coach who understands the game, who's been around some great coaches, the young players and quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts going to pick it up quickly, and they're going to be successful and come out on the other side. So I think it all starts with him as a coach.
We said this about Dak Prescott, is that sometimes he, Dak and dunk. It's a lot of short stuff. But I think Dak looks at this team, and I think he looks at his defense, and I think he looks around, and a lot of times, there was a story a couple of weeks ago, he was yelling, kill, 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 kill. He was audibling all the time, checking down. And my takeaway was, okay, I can crush him for that. But they were playing the Giants, a backup quarterback, and I'm like, sometimes the hardest thing to do as a talented athlete is to just distribute and do a Chris Paul. I'm just gonna give the ball to my playmakers, and I watch Dak, and he makes almost no mistakes. His home splits are incredible. And go back to your career, because I don't consider Dak a kid anymore. But the ability to audible out of stuff and check down is often viewed as weakness by a quarterback. But I look at Dak and I'm like, I don't think with this roster it is. I think he's really smart and figured it out. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's all about compartmentalizing everything, Colin. And as a quarterback, you'll stress yourself out going into a game. You got 100 different pass plays, and you're trying to figure out, okay, I want to get the ball to this guy on this play. I want to make sure if this guy's not open down the field on this play, I'm going to check it down. And you run through all these different scenarios, and then it gets real foggy. When it starts to clear up is when, you just take a step back and look at the offense for what it is. And, you break it down, you slow it down in your mind. And obviously it comes through play and in practice and seeing what works and what doesn't. But I think Dak is at the point where he's very comfortable now with not only with Mike McCarthy, but with Kellen Moore and the play caller selection. When you can hear a play and hear it come in and you know why it's being called, that's when you're going to be at your best. So it's always about the why and the play call. And I think Dak he's getting there And he's still got a long way to go, but right now he's super comfortable in that aspect.
So I said, I know Green Bay's record tells me they're really good, but they don't have much of a knockout punch. They really don't. They jab you to death, and Cleveland throws 4 picks, and yet at Lambeau, with 2.5 to go, Cleveland's driving for the win. And I said, what worries me about Green Bay is you can run on them. Yards per carry, they're 31st in the league. Well, the downside to that is Aaron Rodgers could end up in the playoffs sitting on the sidelines and watching a game. Like the last couple of weeks I've watched Green Bay, and I'm like, they are not blowing average teams out. Did you ever play in a team that was a good team but couldn't stop the run, and how did it affect you?
You always feel like you got to carry the load, and it's not a good thing as a quarterback. It can weigh on you. Right now, I feel like Aaron Rodgers he's mentally strong, and he's capable of handling. He knows what he's dealing with, and the Green Bay Packers, like the last 4 games, have looked like they was going to lose the game, including the game this past week. And Aaron Rodgers always comes and saves the day. They give up big plays on defense. They get some stops on defense. They get a short field. Something always happens, but in the grand scheme of things, Aaron Rodgers comes and saves the day. And the Green Bay Packers got to be thankful right now and looking to sign Aaron Rodgers, for the next 5 years if they want to continue to compete and obviously have a chance at winning the Super Bowl. But it all falls on the hands of Aaron Rodgers when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Mike, great seeing you. Happy holidays to you and your fam. We'll talk soon. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.